We are the Yaamava. This is our name. It means people of the pines. Our story is tied to the tall trees of the San Bernardino Mountains. The pines gave us shelter. They gave us food. They are part of who we are. They have watched over our people for generations. Our ancestors, the Maara'yam, lived here long before any maps were drawn by outsiders. They knew the land intimately, reading its seasons, listening to its whispers. This land is not just a place we live. It is the heart of our identity, the source of our strength, the keeper of our most sacred memories and traditions. This is an oral history. It is a story told through voices. It is not just about dates and events written in a book. It is about the memories that have been passed down from grandmother to grandchild. It is about the feeling of the earth beneath our feet, the songs that echo in the canyons. We want you to hear our history as we have always heard it spoken from the heart. These are the stories of our survival, our struggles, our enduring spirit. We are telling our own story, in our own way, to honor those who came before us, to guide those who will come after. For many years, we were known by a name given to us by others, the San Bernardino Band of Mission Indians. But we have reclaimed our true name, Yaamava. This act is more than just a change of words. It is a declaration of who we have always been. The pines that stand tall in the mountains are a symbol of our resilience. Like them, we have weathered storms, stood firm, our roots running deep into the soil of our homeland. This story will take you on a journey through time. It will show you our world, our governance, our path to economic strength. We will also speak of our cultural revival, which is a powerful force in our community today. We invite you to listen, to learn, and to understand the journey of the Yaamava, the people of the pines, as told by the people themselves. The purpose of this telling is to share our complete story. We want to move beyond the simple facts that are often repeated. It is filled with moments of great joy and profound sorrow. We want to present our journey in a way that feels true to our experience. This means sharing the voices of our elders, our leaders, our youth. Each voice adds a different thread to the rich tapestry of our nation's story. We believe that sharing these personal accounts creates a deeper understanding of being Yaamava today, a people shaped by history but not defined by it. We will talk about how we govern ourselves. Our tribal government is not just a political body. It is an expression of our sovereignty and our commitment to self-determination, one that prioritizes community well-being and the preservation of our culture. You will hear about choices we've made and the principles that guide our leaders, like Chairperson Lynn Valbuena. We have built a strong economy, with Yaamava Resort and Casino at its center. This has brought prosperity and opportunity to our people and the region. It funds our schools, our healthcare, our language programs, and community services. Finally, we celebrate our cultural rebirth. We are revitalizing our traditions. We are bringing back the Serrano language, teaching it to our children so ancestral words are never lost, with music and dance that connect us to our past and each other. The spirit of the Maara'yam, our ancestors, lives on brightly for generations to come. This is our voice for our future. Our ancestors were the Maara'yam. This was their name for themselves. They lived in a world alive with meaning. The San Bernardino Mountains, not just a landscape, but home. Every canyon, every stream, every grove of trees, but by the feel of the wind and the taste of the water. They understood its rhythms deeply, shaping their beliefs, shaping their families, shaping their identity. A relationship built on respect and understanding. The mountains provided everything, giving life to plants and animals. Villages sat near these precious water sources, medicine materials for shelter and tools. Not learned from books, passed down, a sacred trust from elders to children. Each generation added to the wisdom through observation and experience. It taught patience in dry seasons and gratitude in times of plenty. It taught community, gathering, hunting the paths of the stars, part of their cosmos. They did not see themselves separate from nature. They were woven into the great web of life in their mountain home. This bond remains today, a legacy in our blood. We see places where creation stories unfolded. We see our ancestors' enduring spirit watching over us. The source of our culture, our strength, and our identity as the people of the pines. For generations, this was our world, a landscape of balance and abundance. But this world began to change with the arrival of strangers. The first shadows fell when Spanish explorers arrived, their ships like ghosts on the distant coast, heralding a profound and irreversible shift. Following the explorers, Franciscan missionaries pushed north from Mexico, driven by a fervent desire to claim both land and souls for their empire. They established a chain of missions, outposts of a foreign power that would unravel the fabric of our existence. They brought a new religion, demanding we forsake the spiritual beliefs that had guided us for millennia. They brought a new language, seeking to silence our ancestral songs and stories. They brought new ways of life, foreign concepts of ownership and hierarchy that clashed with our communal values. Some Maara'yam were taken, sometimes by force, to missions like San Gabriel and San Fernando. They were forcibly removed from the familiar embrace of the mountains and valleys that were the heart of our world. At the missions, they were given new, Spanish names, an act of erasure designed to sever their connection to their lineage. They were forced to abandon traditional culture, their sacred regalia confiscated, their ceremonies forbidden. People were separated from their families, children torn from their parents. They were taken from their land, leaving them adrift and disconnected. They were cut off from their spiritual world, the very source of their identity and strength. Life in the missions was devastating. The Maara'yam were unprepared for the crowded, unsanitary conditions. They were forced into hard labor, building the very structures of their own confinement. And with the newcomers came invisible killers. New diseases arrived: smallpox, measles. Our bodies had no defense. Thousands died, their passing marked only by the rapid filling of mission cemeteries. A story passed down speaks of this time. Our songs became quiet. The air grew heavy with sadness. The world lost its balance. The land itself seemed to mourn with us. They brought cattle. They brought horses. These vast herds, numbering in the thousands, damaged the delicate ecosystem, trampling the native plants our people relied on for food and medicine. After the Spanish came the Mexicans. In 1821, Mexico won its independence from Spain. But for our people, it was merely the trading of one master for another. The new Mexican government gave away huge pieces of our ancestral lands to its citizens. These were called land grants, ranchos, carved directly from the heart of our territory. This new wave of settlement pushed our people further into the rugged mountains and canyons. Then, the flag changed again. The United States went to war with Mexico. In 1848, California became part of the United States. This transition brought not peace, but a new and more aggressive form of colonization. The American newcomers arrived with a different kind of hunger. They came for gold. The discovery of gold unleashed a flood of prospectors and settlers into our lands, a torrent of humanity that swept away everything in its path. These settlers and miners had no respect for our people or our rights. They saw us as obstacles in their path to wealth, subhuman impediments to be removed. The violence and destruction that followed were worse than anything our people had ever experienced before. The state and federal governments did little to stop it. In fact, they often encouraged it, authorizing and paying militias for their brutal campaigns against Native people. It was a state-sanctioned war of terror. An elder once said, "They wanted us gone. They did not want to share the land. They wanted all of it, and they were willing to kill for it." The goal was extermination. This period of state-sanctioned violence is known as the California Genocide. Our ancestors lived in a state of constant fear, forced to hide in the most remote parts of the mountains to avoid being found and murdered. They sought refuge in caves and deep canyons, becoming ghosts in their own homeland. Our ancestors who lived through this dark time were survivors in the truest sense of the word. They witnessed the near total destruction of their world, the loss of land, life, and culture on an unimaginable scale. Yet, against all odds, they held on. They carried our songs, our stories, and our spirit through the darkest of nights, ensuring that we, their descendants, would be here today. After decades of unimaginable violence, forced displacement, and a desperate struggle for survival, a fragile, uncertain stability finally arrived. The long shadow of conflict began to recede, not out of compassion from our aggressors, but from a cold shift in federal strategy. The United States government began to change its policy from outright extermination to one of confinement. This wasn't an act of mercy. It was a calculated plan to contain our people on lands deemed undesirable, to remove us from the path of so-called progress. In 1891, a presidential executive order established a reservation for our people. This decree, signed far away in Washington, D.C., would define our world for generations to come. It was a tiny piece of land, just 658 acres of rocky, arid foothills. This was the land that was left over, the land no one else wanted. It lacked reliable water and fertile soil, a stark contrast to the bountiful valley and mountain territories we had stewarded for centuries. It was not the vast mountain territory of our ancestors, but it was something. It was a foothold. It was a place where we could be without the constant, gnawing fear of being driven off or hunted. An elder's voice from that time is remembered. It is not the world we lost, but it is a place to plant our feet. Here, we can begin again. Those words became our foundation, a promise we made to ourselves and to the land itself. This was the San Manuel Reservation. This land, our anchor in a changing world, was named for Santos Manuel, our great leader, our Kika. He was the Kika who led our surviving people out of the mountains and away from the murderous violence of the state-sponsored militias. He made the impossible choice to leave our ancestral homes to save our people from annihilation. He guided them down from the high country to safety near the growing town of San Bernardino, a place that was both a source of danger and our only hope for refuge. With unwavering resolve, he negotiated with the government agents and fought for a place for our people to live in peace. He refused to be silenced, speaking truth to power even when his own life was at risk. The reservation was a direct result of his courage and his unwavering dedication. Naming the reservation after him was more than just a way to honor his memory. It was a declaration that his spirit of survival and leadership would forever guide us. Daily life on the early reservation was a constant struggle for existence. The land was poor. Water, the source of all life, was scarce, a constant worry that dictated every aspect of their days. Our people, who had always lived in harmony with the seasons, tried to farm, but the rocky soil and dry climate made it nearly impossible to grow enough food to feed their families. It was a battle against the very earth beneath their feet. Despite the grinding poverty, the reservation was a sanctuary, a place of hope. It was a space where our culture, our language, and our ceremonies, which had been forced into the shadows, could begin to breathe again. Basket weaving, storytelling, and other traditional crafts were kept alive, passed from elder to child in quiet defiance. The reservation, intended as a place of confinement, became an incubator for our identity. Yet, the assault on our culture continued. Children were forcibly sent to government boarding schools, institutions designed to sever their connection to their families and heritage. There, they were punished for speaking their language and practicing their customs. But our people held on. The spirit of Santos Manuel lived in them. They came back from those schools with their memories intact, their language hidden in their hearts, more determined than ever to keep their heritage alive for the next generation. Over the years, through strategic planning and relentless effort, we have worked tirelessly to expand our land base. Today, the reservation has grown from those original 658 acres to over 1,100 acres. Each new acre is a victory, a piece of our stolen homeland reclaimed. This process of reacquiring our land is more than just a real estate transaction. It is a sacred duty, a form of prayer. It is about healing the deep wounds of the past and restoring our profound connection to the earth that has always sustained us, the earth that holds the bones of our ancestors and the promise of our future. As the 20th century progressed, a powerful movement for self-determination grew among native nations across the country. For generations, our futures had been dictated by outside forces, our traditions suppressed, and our lands diminished. But a new resolve was taking hold. We knew that to truly reclaim our destiny, we needed to create a formal government of our own, one built by us, for us. This government had to be more than just a structure. It had to be a living embodiment of our values. It needed to be one that was chosen by our people and accountable to them. This was a critical step in reclaiming our sovereignty, moving from a position of dependence to one of self-reliance and authority over our own affairs. It was about building a nation that could stand on its own, rooted in our ancestral home here in the San Bernardino Valley. More recently, we took another monumental step, one that would define our path for generations to come. We wrote and adopted a new constitution. This wasn't a process we took lightly. It involved countless hours of discussion, debate, and reflection among our community members, ensuring every voice had a chance to shape our foundational law. Our Constitution is a modern document, but it is deeply rooted in our history and culture. It explicitly states our commitment to preserving our cultural identity, our language, and our sacred connection to the land. It is a framework for governance that honors our past while embracing the opportunities of the future, ensuring our traditions are not just remembered, but lived. Our tribal council, led by dedicated leaders, works tirelessly to ensure the well-being of our community. One such leader is our current chairperson, Lynn Valbuena, whose leadership has been instrumental in guiding our nation's progress. The council is the engine of our government, tasked with implementing the vision set forth by our people and our Constitution. The voices of our people are central to our governing process. We hold that true leadership is not about commanding, but about serving. An elder explained it this way: a leader's job is to listen. The wisdom is in the people, not just one person. This principle guides every decision we make, ensuring our government remains a true reflection of the community's will. For many years, our nation struggled with deep, persistent poverty. We faced high unemployment and lacked the basic infrastructure and services that many take for granted. We knew that true self-determination was not possible without economic independence. Political sovereignty alone was not enough. We needed the resources to care for our people and build a sustainable future. In the 1980s, a new opportunity began to emerge for Native nations across the United States, a path toward economic self-sufficiency. This was Indian gaming. Our journey into gaming began small, with a great deal of hope and uncertainty. We started with a modest bingo hall in 1986, a humble beginning that represented a monumental leap of faith. From that small bingo hall, something much larger grew. We had a vision, one that some thought was impossible. We wanted to create a world-class entertainment destination right here in our homeland, an enterprise that would not only generate revenue, but also create pride and opportunity for our people. After years of careful planning and expansion, we rebranded our property as Yaamava Resort and Casino at San Manuel. Yaamava is a Serrano word that means spring. For us, it signifies the dawning of a new era of prosperity and renewal. A spring of opportunity flowing forth after a long winter of hardship. Today, Yaamava Resort and Casino is one of the premier entertainment destinations in Southern California, a testament to our tribe's vision, resilience, and commitment to excellence. This success is a source of immense pride. A tribal leader once said, "We built this house on our own terms, with our own hands, for the benefit of all our people." That sentiment is the foundation of everything we do. The economic impact has been transformative. We have become one of the largest employers in the entire Inland Empire region of Southern California. Our resort and other tribal government operations provide jobs for over 7,000 people, creating a ripple effect of stability and prosperity throughout the surrounding communities. We are committed to being an employer of choice. We offer competitive wages, comprehensive benefits, and real opportunities for career advancement. We invest in our team members through training and development programs. We believe that when our employees succeed, our business succeeds, and our entire community is stronger for it. The revenue generated by our economic enterprises is a means to an end. That end is the well-being of our people. It is the tool that allows us to fulfill our responsibilities to our citizens. A significant portion of our revenue is invested in education, funding everything from early childhood programs to college scholarships. We also invest heavily in the health and wellness of our community. We have built a modern health clinic that provides quality medical, dental, and behavioral health services, ensuring our people have access to the care they need to live long, healthy lives. Finally, our economic success allows us to fulfill our most sacred duty as caretakers of our culture. For too long, we lacked the means to protect our heritage. Now, we use our resources to fund our language revitalization program, teaching our Serrano language to a new generation. We host the annual San Manuel Powwow, a vibrant celebration of native culture that we share with our neighbors and the world. It is a time of renewal, of connection, and of pride. The sound of the drum is the heartbeat of our nation, a rhythm that has echoed through these mountains for centuries, and one that we are ensuring will never be silenced. We have now come full circle. We have reclaimed our true name, Yaamava, the people of the pines. This act is the heart of our modern story. It is a statement that despite everything we have endured, the violence, the displacement, the forced assimilation, we are still here. Yaamava. When a child learns to say Yaamava, they are learning more than a word. They are connecting to the spirit of their ancestors and carrying a sacred part of our identity forward. A young person in our community shared this hope. I am learning our language. I see our tribe building things and helping people. I know that I have a future here, a future that my great-grandparents could only dream of. It is a future where our children can walk in two worlds, fluent in the ways of modern society, yet grounded in the ancient wisdom of the Maara'yam. We believe in the Serrano concept of kake, which means to be good. We strive to be good neighbors, good employers, and good stewards of the land we all share. The story of the people of the pines is not over. It is a living story, and a new chapter is written every day. We will continue to care for this land, our home. We will continue to build our nation. We will ensure that the legacy of the Yaamava, rooted in the strength of the mountains and the endurance of the pines, will flourish for countless generations yet to come.